Hello, my name is Trydar. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build an alien pyramid in Minecraft. Let's get started. So let's take a closer look at our alien pyramid. As you can see, it is green with indecipherable writing all over it, which, did give away for an alien pyramid. It is also slightly stepped. You can see we've got about 3 steps to our pyramid. And being a pyramid, of course, one face looks exactly like the other 4 phases, except for the one where, of course, there is a door down around front, as pointed out by the obelisks that we see, the alien obelisk tutorial that I have already put out. If you want to go ahead and build a pair of these out front of your alien pyramid, they are optional though. You don't have to have them if you don't particularly want them. And we see right here a very obvious door to our pyramid, which of course leads to an interior chamber. I mean, what self-respecting pyramid doesn't have an interior chamber? So let's land. Take a look outside our pyramid here a bit. And I have not installed the redstone door in this. This little ring here of dark prismarine is where you should be installing a redstone door. I mean, I have left a good amount of space in here if you want to install a standard etho door, or if you want to make a more complicated door, you can do that. There is going to be space in here for that. You could even put a little key card reader in here if you wanted to, have a key to your pyramid and everything. But for the moment, we're just going to have to break that particular block so we can go on inside. And here we are. Here is the interior chamber of our alien pyramid. Not what you were expecting, was it? It looks very alien inside of here, with the glass and particles we have inside the walls. I know that these are static, but you have to imagine that they're slowly moving behind each other, going this way and that way, all through the floor and the ceiling up there. The only thing we have inside this room to orientate ourselves is, of course, the doorway and these 4 interior vaulted arch things that we have in here as well. Now, I have no idea what the aliens were using this particular room for. Perhaps it has some cryptic function that is not immediately apparent. I suppose you will just have to build that and figure out something to do with it yourself. It could be a good room for perhaps if you want to build it over your end portal or something. You could have a little drop down somewhere in the middle of the room, or you could put a big nether portal at the end of the room down there, or just, whatever you want to put in here. I will have to leave it up to your own imagination. So with that, let's go back outside. And that's pretty much it, actually. The pyramid here is, it has just enough room inside for that chamber that we saw. And that's going to be about it. There is some other space, perhaps, that you can use on the exterior outskirts of the pyramid around here. But I didn't really find enough space in there to put anything. But if you want to, from wherever the entrance is there, we had a rather long entrance. And if your redstone door isn't very big, you could possibly make some small side chambers in here as well. Not only at the bottom, but probably up there around the top as well. Because the interior of the room takes up most of the space. We can kind of see that here. That's the rough footprint of it right there. And it goes, even though it doesn't take a whole lot of space on the bottom, it does take up pretty much all of this middle section here. So there was no way to get up there to do anything. But, if you want to have like a full beacon up there, you can do that. I will leave it up to you to exactly, to fit out your alien pyramid, however you want to use it for. And with that, we will get on with the tutorial itself. I think we'll get through a couple of phases today, Some of these phases are going to be slow to start off with. As we go, as I said, the obelisks there, on my shoulder there, they already have their own tutorial, but we will take just a brief look at them as we go through here if you want to build a pair. And the spacing for that is going to be, so I'm going to have to guess where the center line is on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right, so the center line for the pyramid is going to be right that way. But if we look at this, we can see that the pyramid, at least on the interior, is asymmetrical, kind of, because of all of the various random blocks that we have placed down inside of that. But as far as the exterior, it's all going to be symmetrical except for the door down there. All the pyramid is going to be symmetrical between the 4 faces. All right. So now the dimensions for the pyramid, let me get a little bit of altitude so we can go over this. You've already seen in the opening slide, you've got the materials list, and the dimensions are at the top there, but let me refresh my memory. Okay, the pyramid is 87 by 101 by what, 99 blocks tall? Yes. All right, so all the way from phase 1 all the way down there is going to be 99 blocks. And I believe the pyramid itself should actually be a square. So it's probably going to be 87 by 87. And I think that 101 is the extra space out here for the obelisks. Let's just count that out and make sure. So if that is going to be 87, that should be what? 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 95, 96, 7, 98, 99, 100, 101. Yes, that's for sure what that is. All right, so the pyramid itself is going to be 87 by 87, big square. Now, here it's done out of obsidian, but, you know, if you want to save a little bit of your build materials, you can convert the obsidian down to, you know, like blackstone, polished blackstone, one of those. Just any really dark block would do, I think. You could even use black concrete if you wanted to. Since I know getting this much obsidian, even though this is the minimum amount of obsidian, because as you can see, we have filler blocks in here. So you would only be using the minimum amount required of obsidian to do this. But I understand, you know, it's a lot, and obsidian's kind of a pain to get. You know, black concrete, black stone, just any really dark block. I don't recommend wool unless, you know, fire tech is off in your world or something. But, you know, if you want to really cheap out on it, you can use black wool. Or even, well, no. I mean, I would say coal blocks, but that's almost as annoying to get that much of as obsidian. So we'll just skip that. All right. So now I'm going to assume that you've gone ahead and done your 87 by 87 square. And then you want to count to the middle over here and find the center line, which I suppose we probably should count that out. I mean, it'd be, what it would be, 86 divided by 2, 43. It's probably, let me count. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 29, 30, 36, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. All right, and then on the 44th block right here that you would be counting, that's going to be your center line for your building, at least for the exterior. like I said. The interior is going to be a different matter. And then from there, we want to go ahead and count back. Now, all these blocks you see below me here, these are not actually lodestone blocks. I just ripped the texture off and put them on double half slabs. So I like this particular texture because it makes things really easy to count for you when we're doing the tutorial here as while we're using that. But they're not actually lodestones. All right. So from our center line block, count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 blocks. And then here on the 20th block, we want to start with our black stuff. Well, just whatever you're using. If it's not obsidian, just whatever the black block is, that's what you want to use. And from that, we want to make a square and do this pattern here. Yep. I know it's a lot, but if you remember when on the interior we were looking at all of the glass below us there with everything, that is what we're building here. Now about this, you don't have to have this exactly as I've done it, because all of this was just done with an MC Edit randomized brush. So it hasn't been placed down with that much care, which means that when you do it, you know, you could also randomize it yourself and save yourself some, you know, some mental anguish trying to place all this down exactly. But for this, I think a good approach to this is going to be to divide and conquer. So I'm going to place this down along the center line on top of all the red blocks. And we're going to divide this thing out into a quadrant. Yep. I'm just going to have to dead reckon where I think it's going to be right here. Yep. So I'm placing the red carpet here on top of only the black blocks. As we go, we got the other filler blocks. And then we're facing the front right here, and then we're going to look down right here. Let me get that out of the way. Let me get in as tight as I can, so this will fill up your screen as much as possible. And there it is. That is the pattern you want to put down in the middle of the floor. So I know that's going to take some doing, but with all of the lodestone texture blocks that aren't actually lodestones, I believe that you can see what the patterning is down there for those. Perhaps let's take a look at the lower two quadrants down here for that one. Now, if you wanted to, for this, if you want to make this a little bit easier than how I've done it here, you can, if you have extra materials, you can just slab the entire thing over with black. Right? And let me count out the interior of this too for you. So starting here, that's going to be 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 24 blocks. Then turn the corner, count for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 3, 24. That's going to be the 24th block there. And then what? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. All right. And it looks like I did manage to dead reckon the center line right on, so that was good. But anyway, if you want to make this phase simpler on yourselves, you can just fill the entire thing in with a big black square and not worry about the placements of these things. Because if we head on over here to the next phase, we can see that on top of all of the void spaces, wherever we left a space there that had a filler block in it. We're going to be putting these blocks on top of it. And I also want to say from this point onwards, every time you see a red wool block, which is actually, I ripped the texture off the red coral block, but every time you see one of these red blocks here, this is actually not supposed to be a red block. It's actually supposed to be, yeah, that. Lime stained glass. It's supposed to be a lime stained glass block right here, but because this is, you know, this is really hard to see unless you get right up close to it, especially with the shaders and everything I have making it look super reflective and all that stuff, removing the border from the glass. To make this easier on you, I have converted all of these lime stained glass blocks into red wool blocks. But, of course, every time you see a red wool block, what you actually want to do is place down a lime stained glass block. Right? Instead of the red wool, not on top of it, just, you know, in the place of it. Got it? Good. All right, so for phase 2, I think we can go ahead and go on phase 2. You want to extend up all of the black all the way around your pyramid, right here for 2 blocks. And oh, wait, I forgot something important. Sorry. You actually need to start underground with all of this too. Because this red here, this should actually be the level of the ground around your pyramid. Now, if you're building this on around maybe off in a desert or something, you know, the terrain is probably going to do, you know, something a bit like that. So if your surface isn't level, or rather, I should say, if your surface is level, then this is going to be the level that the terrain should be at, which means you want to dig down 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks to place the first phase. But if you are doing this in a more custom biome, say a desert, and you want to have some rolling sand dunes and everything, you probably should come back around, like you see behind me here, and you're going to have to do a little terraforming up against the pyramid to sort of, you know, to sort of, you want to have it squished down into the landscape just a little bit. Oh, an egg. Oh, we gonna get a chicken out of that? Oh, never mind. We have unlimited eggs because I'm being creative. I forgot about that. We did get a chicken. Hello there, Mr. Chicken. No. Ran to its mother. Anyway, let's not get distracted with chickens. We're here for alien pyramids. So, around the pyramid, what you want to do is you want to extend up all of the black blocks all the way around the base for another block. And you're going to be doing that for several blocks, actually. But I want to skip ahead a little bit on that. So, to save a little bit of time while you're doing that, you can, if you want to, extend those up from the first phase for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. It's all going to be just, you know, black blocks all the way around the perimeter of the base of the pyramid. For the obelisk, it's going to be much the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for those. If you want to add the obelisks. And let's continue on with the next phase. So let's go over here. We're taking a look back towards the obelisks. And we want to sort of zoom in again. So now down here you can see we have a rather randomized set of blocks here. Some of them, of course, going to be end rods that are just being placed directly vertical. Some are a bit of prismarine. Most of them are dark prismarine. And there are going to be a few sea lanterns. But remember, like I said, you don't have to match this pattern exactly because this was all done with just a randomizer brush. So to make this easier on yourself, instead of following the exact block, I'm going to show you the exact block placements I have down here. But if you want to make this easier on yourself, what I would suggest that you do instead of trying to do the exact placements here, or just to kind of look at it, and just to kind of disorientate ourselves, just to kind of look at it like this is here, and make something that resembles this. You want to use mostly dark prismarine, but for the rest of it, I mean, you don't have to get the exact block placements. You can just kind of, you know, wing it and throw down a bit of random blocks here and there. All right, so there's the entire sequence of that. Now, there are some fixed placements in here you can see with the lime glass I talked about and the emeralds and everything. Is going to be behind the glass. And before we get away from that, I should show you that detail in case it was missed. Behind the lime stained glass, right here, we have emerald blocks. It's going to be behind the glass. It's behind all the lettering, and it's behind all the little windows and everything as well. It's also along the sides there. On the exterior and everything. So every time we have an emerald block placed down, there should be somewhere adjacent to it placed down an emerald block right beside the red wool, which should be the lime stained glass. All right, so now to properly cite the rib features, you remember when we were looking inside the pyramid, we saw the 4 rib features extending up out of the floor and kind of wrapping around us in there? Well, we have to build, we're going to be building those along with this mess. And there's going to be 8 of those in here for the bases of those, 4 pairs. And from the edge right here, it's going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then in here, we want to build this right here. 2 obsidian and a lime stained glass. And then 2 obsidian and a glass, 2 obsidian and a glass, and 2 obsidian and a glass in this pattern here. Yeah, remove that there. This pattern here, and then in between it we've got the filler blocks, and then 4 emerald blocks. Because remember, all of these blocks here, these are just filler blocks. They can be cobblestone, or just any dirt block, or just whatever block you have handy. If you want to fill in your pyramid solid, you don't have to. You can leave it hollow. But yeah. So what you do, one of those, you then want to count out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, and build another one here, and then count out another spacing of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, and build another one here, and then count out another spacing of, you guessed it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, and build one more here. Okay. And if we look below us down here, we can see we're doing that again. The spacing on these is going to be 5 blocks, just to get us started with that. And let me land here. And the spacing in between these is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 blocks of spacing. So, as I said, all of these 8 things is going to share the same design as that one right there. So you want to build 1 and then space 5, and then 1 and then another one, space 5, another one, space 5, another one. And then in the middle here, space out 13 and do 1 and space of 5, 1, space of 5, 1, space of 5, and the last one there. We're a total of 8. And if you want to, you can go ahead and build those before you start placing down the randomized blocks. In fact, I would encourage you to do it that way. And then after that, you can place down, just whatever sort of randomized block you want. I hope I'm not harping on this too much, but, this pattern down here can be a little hard and inscrutable. So, like I said, all you really need to do is not copy this exactly, but copy the spirit of what you see. Meaning that you just want to get something on the ground that resembles what you see, but it doesn't have to be exactly this. That's also why I rounded off the numbers for the pyramid too. They aren't quite exact block counts. They are close enough. It's the minimum amount that you're going to need. The maximum amount I think you're going to need anyway. All right. So we will leave that one on behind. And I think I probably should count out the spacing. I don't know if I remarked on this directly, but 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18 blocks to get back to the perimeter. So it is a square, so this is going to be 18 blocks of spacing all the way around the 4 sections of the pyramid. It's 18 blocks of spacing all the way around, except for these little indentations here, along the interior walls, where, as you can see, they happen to have blocks in front of them. So it was just a filler block was applied since there was no air block surrounding this one. Right here, same for the sea lantern and the prismarine and everything like that there. Otherwise, this should all be just can be a solid wall. You don't have to do the spacing like that. You can take whatever black block you are using and just make a big square and leaving 18 blocks of space all the way around the edges. All right, I know that's a lot of talking, and we haven't got a lot done yet. We're only on phase 2, but that's because the interior of this takes a bit of explanation, because I've never tried to do anything quite like this in a tutorial before. So it's kind of uncharted waters for me, and I'm doing my best to explain it in a way that I think will make sense for you. All right, so like I said, out here you can go ahead and be extending all the exterior walls up all the way around the pyramid. And the main trouble we're going to have with this is, of course, the interior chamber. All right, so we see here a big sheet of red wool, even though it's got the red coral texture on it. And that is because, remember, what is the red wool? That's right. It's lime stained glass. So, to get the fog effect, what we are doing is we're putting down a series of randomized blocks like we did back there. And then we're going to put a sheet of glass on it. And then we're going to be doing another set of randomized blocks over here. And then another sheet of glass and another set of randomized blocks. And then a final sheet of glass on top of that for us to walk on. That, by the way, is how you get the fog effect with the glass. All you need to do is layer it and leave some space between the layers. It's pretty easy. All right. So now this section here, as you can see, this goes right directly on top of what we did back over here. If I want to go back to phase 2, remember? We talked about this here. You can see from the red we have our 8 piers down in the ground here. Well, this next section goes right on top of those. You don't have to measure anything new out. Be right on top. See, it's still got the same spacing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 blocks there. See? Just the same spacing that we did before. And go ahead and put in the 8 pier bases. Now, you can see around the edges, we do have some additional work to do, and that is because what we have to do here is we have to bend our 3 layers of glass and everything all the way around the room. because we're going to be enclosing ourselves in 3 layers of glass all the way around the room, without exception, except for, like, the doorway. And that's what we're doing over here. So let me take a look. This is facing out towards the 2 main obelisks at our doorway. So let's just take a look at what I did for that here. So you can see that there is an air gap right here all the way around. And in here, at various intervals, we have just a series of randomized blocks. I mean, you can see it's very random in their placement and everything. Just like so. So let me try and get a top-down view of that and get as tight in as I can. If you want to, like I said, you don't have to replicate the exact block placements of these. Just get it somewhere around where you think it might be, and that's going to be good enough. Because remember, it's just meant to be a randomized pattern. So, if you want to make it even more randomized than what I've done here, that's perfectly fine to do. You don't have to do it in the exact same block placements. All right, so let me scoot on back, and we're taking a look at the sides here, that side there and there. As we go. Back down here. And then I'm just going to, let's get a side view here. It might be a little easier for you. But like I said, you don't have to get them in the exact places that they are here. Just get them in a randomized placement, however you think is best. Something that kind of resembles what you see here. And then back behind here, just to make it simple on yourself, you don't have to place filler blocks. You can just, these can all be black blocks, just all of them right behind those in a big square. All right, and then once you have done that, you can go ahead, if you haven't already, and install your sheet of lime stained glass where this red wool is, in place of the red wool, not on top of it, but in place of the red wool. Go ahead and put down your lime stained glass blocks. All right, now we can go on to the next phase. Phase 4, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. So extend up all of the black blocks, whatever you're using for that, all the way around the pyramid and the bases of the obelisks, all the way around the exterior in a big box. And on the interior here, you can see what we're doing is on top of our glass. I think the first thing you want to do is go around and extend up the 8 piers, just like this here. This got the same pattern as before. Just like so, exactly the same. Extend up the piers for all 8 of those. The first one here, and then the 3 over here, and then the 4 on that side. Extend those up. The next thing I think you want to do is, you can see on top of your glass, right down below here, extend up in a big square, right on top of that, all the way around the room. You can see we've got a big red square. Well, you want to make that lime stained glass all the way around the perimeter of that. And then we're going to have a little bit extra. Let's let me get in, try and get in tight again. Actually, let's take a look at the whole thing first. So we can see we need to do randomized blocks on the walls. Again. And then inside of the lime stained glass square, on top of the lime stained glass sheet that we already put down on the last phase, what you want to do is put another set of randomized blocks, mostly consisting of dark prismarine. But here and there, you just want to sprinkle in some regular prismarine, some sea lanterns, and some some end rods facing upwards. No such thing as end stone rods. I mean, I wouldn't mind having those, but Anyway. So you just want to make a nice randomized pattern after that. You don't have to do the exact pattern that I've done here. As I probably said this too much already, but I would encourage you not try and do the exact pattern here, but to do your own randomized placements. Because remember, all this was done was just a straight MC Edit brush. So I didn't hand randomize these. So that would take entirely too long. Because I had to go through quite a number of variations on this to get the brush settings right, because I was looking for a particular effect from this, and it took, I don't know, I think it took a good dozen tries or so before I landed on one I thought looked good enough, and that's the one I went with. All right, so remember, you're doing the perimeter glass in a square. You're doing 8 piers. In the middle here, you're doing the randomized block assemblage in the center. And along the outside of the square, along the walls here, you need to put in more blocks, because just like we're doing on the floor here, we're also doing on the walls. And remember, like I said, this entire thing it's wrapped around in a big box with 3 layers of glass throughout the entire thing. So, all right, let's go on to the next phase after you've done your block randomizations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There. So perimeter all the way around, same thing, black blocks. For the base exterior of the pyramid, it's fading off into the mist there, so we'll have to say farewell to our pyramid for a while. This is going to be at least a 2-parter. Actually, I'm thinking it might be a 3, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, wait. I forgot to say. This, of course, is available for download in the video description for both Java and Bedrock versions. If all you really want to do is take a copy of this, and you don't actually, you don't actually want to do the entire thing in survival, if you just want to take a copy of it, you can do that. As always, of course, if the video, I try to make the video thorough, but if it isn't good enough for you to follow, the download there is also for that purpose, to give you the maximum amount of help. All right. So next phase, first thing we want to do is I think we want to lay down the piers, all 8 piers, just like we've done previously. Right there. So same design. You want to build 1, and then the total of 8 of those. They're right on top of the previous ones. All right. Now behind that, you can see we want to place down a sheet of glass. And we want to, first we want to, on top of our glass that we've been placing down, remember last phase we had the big square of glass? Well, you want to extend that square up again. Then you want to leave a block of air, and then place down the sheet of glass. See? Just like we have down here. Remember, the red wool is actually limestone glass. But it's red wool here in the tutorial because, nobody could see this in the video if that was what I kept the material as. So it was changed to the red to help you. It's very high contrast against the green and everything. And then in between that, facing out toward the obelisk here, in between that, as you can see, we want to do a randomized assemblage of blocks again. Not just on this level, but also back here. See? So now you've got 2 of those to do. We're gonna scan around clockwise, starting here at the door, and then we're gonna scan around here. Like I said, you don't have to get these exact placements as you see done here. You just want to get them somewhere approximate to this. Don't have to worry about the spacing. Just everywhere you think there might be one, just go ahead and place one. Because, you know, if I came in person and inspected your pyramid, I would not be able to tell any difference between the randomized blocks in your pyramid and the reference model down there. Because they're supposed to be, you know, random. All right, turning the corner here. And I think I beat that horse particularly straight to death. So I'm not going to remark on the randomizations anymore, because I think you have the concept now. So we're just going to get on with the tutorial. So there's the torches we put down to start with. And that's pretty much all there is to this phase. One of the easier ones, I think. Let's go on to the next phase. Oh, hello, Mr. Sheep. How are you doing? You're enjoying the alien pyramid? Yes? No? Yeah, well, we're just going to assume he said yes. And then keep going. So we are on phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 blocks, exterior the same all the way around. Extend up the black blocks in the big square. And then we'll go on into the interior. The first thing you want to do in here is extend up the 8 piers. Right here, right on top of the previous piers. They're just rising up straight up out of the misty floor and everything. So build those according to the same pattern we've been doing. Build 1 and then build all 8. Okay, and then behind that, get a little altitude here. You can see we are at another phase where I think the first thing you want to do here is you want to place down now 2 boxes of glass here. You can see where we've got the outlines of the red here. Well, if I land, take a look at this. You can see here we've got the wall here, the black wall, and then we've got the randomized blocks. Then we've got a sheet of glass. See, it's separating everything. And then we've got another air gap with more randomized blocks. And then we've got another sheet of glass that's going to be going right here. See? This was rather difficult to make, actually, to start off with, because, you know, I had to get everything just right in order to have all of this bend at a corner. Because I wanted to wrap the entire room in the randomized glass pattern. It's going to have a really unique effect, I think. People are really going to be quite blown away by the interior of your pyramid, I hope. Where was I? Let's take a look at the outside perimeter first, I think. Let's throw down, this is somewhat proximate to the center line, so let's throw down some torches there. And I'm going to scan clockwise around the exterior for you to do your block randomizations. Like I said, you don't have to do it exactly, just get it, you know, something resembling what you see. All right, turning the corner. All right, turning the corner again. And there's the torches that we started with. All right, now on the inside here, on your sheet of glass inside the square, you can see you're doing the same sort of thing. You're placing down the same types of blocks in randomized positions. Mostly dark prismarine, but, you know, a little bit of smatterings of other blocks. Prismarine, and rods, and sea lanterns. And like I said, you know, don't have to match the pattern exactly. Just get something down there that looks pretty. Then just make it look random. That's all it has to be. All right, let's go on to the next phase, where we're going to be starting to install our door, actually, and we have some exterior detailing to take a look at finally. So here for the obelisk, they are getting raised up to 7 blocks. But for the pyramid, we want to go up another block here, but we want to cut back a block all the way around when we're doing this, see? So we want to go up a block of the black blocks, but we also want to step it back a block all the way around the perimeter in big square. So once you have done your square, we now want to, along our center line here, let's count back for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And right here, this is where I had the green installed for the doorway. Right there. So, but you can move this a little bit deeper back in if you want to. Back in here. Because as I said, I left you a pretty good amount of space here for you to be able to install some sort of customized redstone door. But, you know, because it's just, Trydar and redstone don't really mix. So, I mean, you know, I can barely make a piston work. So you will have to go to someone else's channel to get yourself a door tutorial, and you can follow that. And you can put it in here, but I've left you enough space for that consideration in here as well. So now skipping that block and counting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's going to bring us even with the wall back in here. And then we've got just a little bit more space right here for what? For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks there. 7 by 5, I think. 7 by 5 there, which is going to take us out into, of course, our room again. So the first thing we want to do on the interior, you guessed it, we want to extend up all 8 of these piers according to that pattern there in the middle of the room. The next thing we want to do is, you can see, we want to extend out our glass. Ignore these things I just placed down back here. For that, let's take a look, starting at the door, going clockwise. You can see we're placing down now 2 sheets of glass back here, being extended upwards, and then we're going to be placing down a central sheet of glass. If you want to, you can go ahead and place down the central sheet of glass. Just remember, we want to leave an air gap now, a 3rd air gap back here. We have this gap here, this one here, and now we're leaving this one here before we start our glass. So let's take a quick look around the exterior here for just a suggestion of how to do the randomizing of the block placements here. Just like the floor sections, the wall sections are the same. You want to do the same patterns and everything. It's going to be mostly dark prismarine, but here and there we want to have some accent blocks with the end rods, the prismarine, and the sea lanterns. I'll just scan around that. Like so. Right there, and I think that's all there is. Wait, no, I forgot about the exterior. So let's now go back to the front and take a look at the exterior detailing. We are going to start right here, and we are going to go clockwise again around the exterior of the pyramid. And every place you see the red paired with the emerald here, you remember what that means? That it's lime stained glass, just like so. And I think I don't think I need to count this, because the patterning of the lodestone texture there is going to be good enough for you to get all that without me, you know, just going 1, 2, 3 for the entire thing. So we're going to scan around that. I will count out this one. This is kind of long. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Should be 14 blocks. You might want to double check me on that. And here's going to be the corner for our pyramid. And then turning the corner, this should be the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14. The 14 there. And then this section here. And this right here in the middle should be right along our center line. Well, if we want to do a second center line, perpendicular to our first one. Like so. That should be another 14 blocks in the middle. And then we've got another corner. Alright, then build the corner, and then another 14 block gap. And this central section here. And the central section right here. This is going to be right along our main center line. It goes through our building right back here. This is the back of the pyramid now. And actually, once you get to this point here, everything that you've done over there is going to be a mirror image over here. But to establish that, we're just going to go ahead and keep scanning around that, and we'll skip the rest of it later. After we get the first couple of layers, levels of layers down first. Oh dear, it's getting to that point in the video where I'm losing the ability to talk. So I think we can maybe we can do another phase, and then we're gonna have to call it for today. I had to do quite a lot of exposition through the first couple of phases. It's kind of a complicated build to start off with. It's not really, you know, a village house or anything. It's an advanced level difficulty thing for this build, I think. Mostly because of the interior room. That's where all the hard part is. Although I suppose from this point onwards you could only follow the exterior of the building and skip the entire interior of the room. I mean, but the interior room just looks so cool. We have to have that. But if you do want to skip that, you know, you can see they're rather disjointed here. You can just leave off that and only build the exterior as a shell, if that's what you want to do. But I will leave that up to you to decide. So let's get a little bit of altitude here. So the footprint of our building, except for all the red wool that should actually be limestone glass, should look like this. And the filler blocks. I mean, nobody has that many lodestones. And then we will go on to the next phase. The next block level up, as you can see, we're doing this in 1 block level slices, which means, you know, there's going to be 99 discrete phases of these. So it's probably, yeah, this probably is going to be a 3-parter. It's going to take all the rest of the next part, I think, just to get through most of the room. Let's see. Let's do, I think, this phase here, which the good news is you are done doing the floor, actually, at this point here. When you put that sheet of glass on that last phase there, that should be the floor that you can walk on now. And the interior of this is going to be a little bit simpler. As you can see, now we have these 3 boxes nested inside each other of glass. Right there. But of course, the first thing you want to do on the interior, which actually let's come back to that. Let's do the exterior of the building first, and then we'll scan around the interior. That's my usual pattern on these things. Here, we'll just take a quick look here at the top down for the obelisks. If you want to build one of those, want to build some of those. Right there. And then for this next section, pretty much on top of what we've done, let's go ahead and count back here. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to be our doorway. And let's scan around clockwise of the exterior of the pyramid. Compared to the interior, the exterior is going to be pretty easy for this, I think. Got a lot of repeating details. We're in the middle of the side over here. Right here, and you can see this is just being placed right on top of what you've done back here. So all the block spacing for this should already be done for you. All you're really doing is placing the outer shell of the pyramid here with all those filler blocks behind it. And here's our main center line of our pyramid going through the back. But let me go ahead and just scan around the whole thing since it's here. All right, and that brings us back around to our door. So to the sides of our door, we want to have just a standard black entranceway. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 blocks right there, both sides. And then behind that, let's start at our doorway and then scan around clockwise. Well, first, before you do that, go ahead and build your 8 piers inside your room, just like so. Just the same pattern you've been doing it, just up into the block level. So let's take a look now clockwise for the interior detailing along the walls here of our 3 layers of glass. And remember, you don't have to get the pattern exact, just, you know, something resembling that. You can see we're just doing the block randomization sandwiched between 3 successive layers of glass. It's like three boxes of glass inside the pyramid, but in between all the air gaps of those 3 boxes of glass, we've got all the randomized blocks. Which, with how Minecraft works and everything, I mean, we saw the interior tour of the room. It makes a really nice effect on the inside. Dare I say, a truly alien-looking interior. Huh? Huh? No? All right. Well, I'm sorry. Well, anyway, with that, I think that with that terrible joke, we will stop for today. I think that's going to be it's going to be a lot to get started with, and I think next time we will continue on with the pyramids. I hope you're having a lot of fun building so far. I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.